Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LJL Summer Split Week 5. Game 2 of 16 to be found over these next 2 days. It is going to be an absolute storm of games. We're going to try and cover them, as many of them as we can live. We're doing all of the games today live. And we just saw one insane game where Axis take down Titans, but maybe not Goliath in Sengoku Gaming. But Sengoku now have to bounce back. They're going to go up against another lower table team in Rascal Jesters, another team who have been struggling with substitute issues. They haven't lost one player, they've lost 2, which was pretty massive. But let's set this stage a little bit more. Sengoku Gaming wanted to push for first over this sort of super week. They've dropped the ball already, Lexi. How are you feeling about what they need to do in this game, and what is this signaling to the rest of the league, right?
Okay, so I want to see how this game goes before I make any crazy statements, because this could be just first game jitters, and then we start seeing the Sengoku we've seen countless times before, where they don't care about what you're doing, they will just beat you. However, if it happens against the Jesters, and even if it's not a clean win, it's a win, but it's pretty dirty, I'm going to be really worried. But in that same way, it makes the bottom of the table look far more exciting for playoff contentions and tiebreakers, so we get content regardless, Initialize.
Oh, the content has been coming thick and fast. Every day as well, your thoughts on Sengoku, and kind of specifically, what do you want to see from this squad?
Well, I've only, based on my extensive footage that I've seen of Sengoku, they're actually the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And they need to completely change up everything. I mean, in all seriousness, I dumped the Volibear pick. I think Volibear's super overrated. You have to know how to play him. He has to fit your comp. He is not just this giga-busted bruiser that you can crack out on any comp. You saw there. That famed mid-jungle synergy didn't do anything because Volibear doesn't do anything. He's a bad champion.
It's the New Age Malphite. He literally doesn't do anything. Alas, despite his
Malphite would have been better.
Everywhere it
Malphite
feels
would
like
have been better.
Malphite, maybe. This time, though, I do want to drag us over to the Jesters, though. It hasn't been any changes on their roster. It's still Pink in mid lane. Of course, there's Katarina One Trick who's come in to kind of replace Ninja while they're stuck out in Japan. Similarly, Nagi stepping in for Vivid, who can't be over here again. These are issues still haunting this squad. Maswan, what do you need to see out of the Jesters if they want to contest Sengoku Gaming? A Sengoku Gaming that maybe, just maybe, have shown there's a few cracks in the armor that could be exploited.
I mean, I want to piggyback on what Everyday said on that Volibear. I do agree with him. I think that Volibear first pick makes sense in so many drafts. They didn't really draft for the Volibear, especially in that jungle. It came a big problem, especially as that set was able to run over the game for Axis. However, this is the Jesters. Pink has been shown to be a player that consistently at 50 minutes is about 20 CS below the other mid laners. He just falls behind. Yes. Nagi has been a fine support, in all fairness to them. Not stellar, maybe second rookie of so far of the split, but even then, we're not placing them in the top 4. They're in the bottom 4 of the support. So they're fine. They've filled the gap, but it's not Vivid. It's not Ninja. They don't have the mad cap. They don't have the mad Jester cap on where they can pull off crazy comps and make the best team in spring sweat out and have to do double TP victory to win a game. I feel like Sengoku should be able to get a bit of a confidence win here.
All right. Everyday as well, kind of your thoughts here on the Jesters, and obviously I'm aware you're coming in as something of a guest here, so I'm not expecting massive, vast knowledge of the Jesters and their play patterns, but maybe from what you've seen in the VCS and some of the lower table teams there, how would you tackle the issue that Jesters are facing, knowing that they've got some star players, but a couple weak links having to be brought in at an awkward moment in the split, and how would you look to try and take down Sengoku here if you were the Jesters?
I mean, that's it's kind of a tall order because one of the... Sorry, I just need to clear my throat.
I caught you at a bad moment there. I can
You
buy
did,
time
sorry.
for you.
But I'm all right now. I was just buying time to think. No,
Cunning.
The problem comes that one of those sort of quote-unquote autofill players is the mid laner, because I think it's really important to control and tame Pyrion. We saw that in the last game. The early lane phase went well for him, but then the Zoe sort of was just able to keep him in lane, able to keep him under pressure, and he never got anything going. If their mid laner of the Jesters isn't able to do that, he might just take the game over.
Might just take the game over. It could definitely be an issue. As we're now moving into the pick and bans. Final thoughts for predictions here. I think I know which way it's going to go, but I want to hear it from the both of you. Go, Lexi.
It's still the Sengoku. I can't not pick against them. Or pick for them, rather.
And every day?
I got burned in the first game, so I'm picking the upset. I'm going for the
Yes, that's what we
I got
like
burned
to hear.
in game 1. Hell yeah.
Well, we'll have to see whether the Jesters can pull the second upset of the day, or whether Sengoku Gaming can right the ship. But to find out how that goes, gents, take it away. I'll leave pick and ban to you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, go for it. Lead us, Mr. Caster.
I was going to say, sorry, it's my play-by-play instincts. Thank you very much, as we do head into Champion Select. And we can whip through the team. Over on the side of the Jesters, we do have Cog in the top lane, Hakamecha in the jungle. Hachamecha. Okay. Again, I'm going to butcher them.
Yeah, you get a bunch of fun with his name.
I'll do my best. Hachamecha in the jungle, Pink in the mid lane, and Art and Nagi the bot lane duo.
Yeah, for Sengoku, it's Appamen in that top lane, Blank in the jungle, Pyrion as their mid laner, Yutori Muashi as their bot lane, and NT as their carry. Bans have come in for Sengoku, Elise, Karma, Aphelios. Standard, I think. Pretty standard on the red side, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, a triple mid lane ban for the blue side. That's worth noting. Yeah, targeting Pyrion out.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Zoe getting picked away from them on Axis' side. The LeBlanc ban makes total sense, especially, and that's that repeat of that TF ban that you highlighted first off. The Jesters don't agree with you every day, though. They don't agree with you. Look at what's first picked, sir.
Can I change? Am I allowed to change my prediction?
No, you're not.
Host comes in.
They've just first picked a Volibear. Why? I don't understand. It's not. And it's answered by such a strong bot lane. This Bard Ashe bot lane has almost no counters. Even the Jhin, which is the Ashe counter, is countered by Bard.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed already.
Well, we're gonna.
Why do people first pick Volley?
We're gonna be seeing on the opposite end that Ezreal picked up hovered. No, it's been locked in for Art, and Art is a pretty decent Ezreal player. In all fairness to himself, I do agree with you. Part of the reason you pick Volibear is because it's great in a lot of spots. The problem is it's not great versus Bard, and it's not great versus Ashe. So now you have to deal with that. We've got bot lane matchups already going, and I already like the side of Sengoku, and they got to pick theirs first somehow. Wait, that's not how that's meant to work.
Sengoku is just winning draft. Like, they're not draft. It's like they're doing like a blind pick.
They're banning out Pink, even though they could have picked it, but you know he's not going to pick it before NT. And they were going to let Pyrion have last pick priority, because they were just going to go on, Pink, do it. Pick your Katarina. Give us the free counter pick.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is not the best draft so far out of the Jesters. They are definitely telling a bit of a joke, and they put a full ban into it. Period.
Huh. I mean, what are they going to ban here? They could ban a top laner. Ornn is still pretty decent on the side of Sengoku. What else? They've got a jungle, they've got bot lane, so they're just banning more mid picks. And Pyrion has a large champion pool. I'm not concerned for him. I think this is partly just for Pink's benefit. And they're just like, if we just ban everything, he can't play anything at that point, right?
Push him all the way down the priority. I mean, maybe it works, but I can't say I'm overly confident. I think Pyrion probably has the depth. And there it is, the quintuple mid lane bans. I mean, Pink, if you're ever going to win mid lane, it better be this game, mate.
But Victor's still up. So Vaporeon still has a mid laner. He already shown to us that they can play an Apamen. Oh, are we going to get an Apamen Renekton? It's a bit. They're going back to a bit of a safe place. There's that Corki that's still up. There are so many picks that are still up at the moment for Vaporeon.
Yeah.
They banned 5, like you said. He's fine, and yeah, you do wonder where Pink just sits now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Renekton pick. It's just a super safe blind top laner. They want to save the counter pick for Period, which makes a lot of sense.
It's also totally fine if they have to play that volley against that volley.
It's Nunu mid.
Wait,
I'm calling it right now.
We don't know yet.
AP I'm calling it right now. It's AP Nunu mid.
No. This is the LJL. This isn't the VCS every day.
He's a Katarina one trick.
So this is the first.
He's picking AP Nunu mid. Let's go. Come on.
No, don't.
Lock it in.
This could be mid.
Come on. No, that's AP Nunu mid. It's AP Nunu mid.
Okay, but what's good against that? Like
nothing. It's
something
broken.
that's good at roaming and going around and has a good. Silas is okay. Great.
No, Silas gets wrecked in this matchup.
Does he?
It's melee. You can't go melee. Oh my god.
No, you can't go melee.
No.
That's kind of inting.
Done it. He's gone the Silas against the AP Nunu.
Okay,
I'm so excited. I've been wanting to cast a Nunu.
So, sir, you seem to be very prepared for this.
Well, I mean, this is a thing on this patch, right?
Wait a second. If it doesn't, if they don't, wait. Oh yeah, they switched the last second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is a thing on this patch. This is this isn't actually a troll pick. It's a little bit cheesy, but on this patch, this is legitimately broken.
So I wanna just say something that happened on our podcast. I'm gonna quote Nymera here because he said it on the podcast. So this is not a representation of Nymera's character. I don't know. You don't have to be good at mid to play Nunu. You just have to be a decent player to play Nunu mid. And New Age Aurelion Soul, wave clear at level 1. What more can you ask, really?
But it's Aurelion Soul on steroids.
Sure.
The roam speed of this champion and the damage it brings is actually insane. Pyrion, I think, is super brave to bring a Silas into it. You're just going into the melee range of the Nunu, where you can get pelted by the snowballs. I'm so keen for this. I actually think they ended up with a really strong comp because they can just snowball side lanes. Look at level 6.
Sure.
You go to either side lane at level 6 with Volibear and Nunu, Volley turns the tower off, and you just get a kill. They're just dead.
God, I'm so not sure. I get it. I get it's giga busted. I get it's super strong at the moment, right? It's great to see it. If we're going to find it, this is probably the person out of it who probably needs something like this to really pick up their socks a little bit, find that win, and if it works, well, gosh darn it, it worked. Doesn't matter what I think afterwards. If it works, it works. I'm just concerned that that Rascal Jesters are the second lowest farming team in the LJL. They don't have great objective control. Their vision game is significantly lower than Sengoku. They only get first tower about 12%, whereas Sengoku before the Axis game had 100% tower take.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help it. I just feel that hesitance for them.
Yeah, I agree. Look, this is definitely a bit of a cheesy pick. They're trying, they know they're the worst team, right? They know they're at a disadvantage, and I think they've picked the comp that gives them a super good chance because I hate this wasn't even intentional, but Nunu can snowball your whole team.
True. That is very true. And if he's going to be on a champion that can do this, I mean, this will help Pink's stats significantly. I want to just highlight, he's almost always down 24 CS at 15 minutes versus his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost always 1k gold down against his opponents. This could be a champion that fixes a lot of those problems, because you don't need to be in lane. You don't need to do a bunch of these other things, because you just get to slam the hammer down and just always push your opponent out of lane and immediately roam. You'll improve your gold, your CS, your experience, and everything else, and your first blood kill participation, just because you're going to be around the map so often, right? That's going to help Pink be that team player that he needs to be, that he hasn't been in a lot of spots, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, again, he doesn't have to play the mid lane. He doesn't play against Pyrion in this matchup. Like, Pyrion doesn't have any agency.
Yeah, that's
he can't do anything.
Silas.
Like the Nunu will just you can't stop the Nunu clearing the wave. He's too tanky. He just clears it way too fast, and then he just leaves. And Pyrion's sitting there going, "I'm the better mid laner," but he's gone.
So how do you fight
what
against
do I
that?
do?
How do you fight against that in Champ Select when you have got 5... Was it 5? Yeah, 5.
Really fast push.
So
that's how.
Do you need
mine
something
turret
like
plays.
Corki or Cassiopeia, which has pretty decent wave clear? I guess part of the problem was they actually banned a lot of the really good champions in wave clearing.
Well, they did, but I mean, again, I don't know Pyrion's champion pool super well, but this is where you'd like to see a Tristana. He goes, okay, you leave the lane, sure, I'm going to get, every time you do that, I get a tower plate, 100% of the time. Because she just mines the towers so quickly. But I guess that's not necessarily in Pyrion's champion pool. He hasn't been practicing that super aggressive AD pick. And, I mean, this is now a situation where it's really hard to answer the Nunu. Now, we have to maybe I have to slow myself down. Pink has to execute it. He has to get the roams right. Because if you don't get the roams right, this pick doesn't actually do much in the end.
No, it won't. And on the benefit for Sengoku, they've got great assistants throughout their team. They've still got this Ashe and Bard, who have got absurd potential on picking up a champion, zoning as well. They've got great pickup setups for Blank as well on this Nidalee. Everybody knows Renekton Nidalee combo. Great at getting ganks off. Really good at chunking someone down. I mean, they've got the team comp if they can just prevent Pink from actually snowballing the game. Literally.
Look what he just did.
Yeah.
Look what he just did. That is the Nunu.
Yeah, that was...
He just one-shot the casters at level 1.
But Twitter and the fans believe Sengoku still have it in them. They believe they can do this, and we're getting some interesting jungling so far.
This is smart. This is going to be the vertical jungling setup. It makes it harder for the Nunu to roam, because you don't necessarily want to early roam up to a Renekton. Though it is interesting, because Nidalee, well, she likes to gank top too.
They also know that Pink will want to farm.
Okay, made him burn a snowball. That's pretty good. Slow his wave clear down.
Well, I mean, that's great. I mean, if Blank is able to shadow enough so Pink is too scared to do the full clear, he's not going to be able to farm. Nunu's not great at farming under turret. He either gets all of the wave or not much of the wave, and that's kind of that awkward spot he'll fall into. If Blank just vaguely shadows, that's a way to slow down this Nunu potentially.
Yeah, for sure, as he once again walks into the wave, as Hachimecha is coming out of the jungle. Can they get onto him? The snowballs land. It's a flash for a flash.
Flash for a flash. Pretty reasonable. Pretty decent. Can't complain too much about that. It is important to note that is the mid lane trade. It's not a jungle for mid flash. It's the mid.
A lot of pings on the bot lane, but the hook hasn't landed. Hachimecha, he hasn't actually gone to equalize the buffs yet.
Oh god,
it wasn't vertical jungling. He never entered Nidalee's red side.
He did.
Red side. Well, he did know there were pings. He was pinging the red buff, but he never went and got it. Nidalee cleared her own raptors. This is a strange bit of pathing.
I mean, this is really confusing and not characteristic of Hachimecha. Hachimecha produces a lot of content around... Oh god, that's a hook.
It's okay. It's a bard.
It's a fair bit of poke on here. Blank's coming in for the gank.
Oh, Pink could be in trouble. Of course, he does not have the flash. He's got the snowballs up. Can they get the last bit of damage? There is the tower coming in, and it's going to be the volley bear. Hachimecha arrives just in time to get that first blood.
That was horrendously kind of depressing to see that from Blank. Uncharacteristic. Flashed in, tried to find the last spear auto attack, was a little bit too far from where Pink was chilling and got away. It's going to be important to see how this. So Hachimecha is shadowing Pink, but Blank is able to get this first gank in, waits for the auto, lands the trap, then comes in for the Nidalee combo. He does eat to keep himself alive, and you can see this. Blank flashes far too late to be able to get that auto attack, as well as also a Q off, because I guess it was probably just on cooldown, because he used it so late into that gank. Didn't matter. Pink gets away and Hachimecha gets the kill.
Absolutely, and that is a bad start here for Sengoku. You hope they can not tilt after a bad loss last game and now a bad start to this one. You'd hate to see their mental just break, but they might be able to get it back as Cog is under pressure. As Blank is here. Do they want to go under tower? There is a big wave. There is a teleport. They're going to try and get the kill back. It should be very, very easy as Pyrian arrives and Upperman will claim the kill.
Okay, so that's trading mid... actually, he's not losing anything because Pink hadn't actually prior already pushed this out. It's pretty free for Pyrian to actually take that TP back upon respawning and even it up. Though... that does mean because Blank was shown over at topside, this is going to be a free Drake. And something of note, which is going to be important, is Rascal Jester always have double smite because of this Nunu.
Yeah, that consume is very literally just another smite. That Ocean Drake will get picked up. So now the snowball comes out again and just the wave is instantly cleared.
And now that the game looks to be slowing down just a minor moment while these junglers go back to farming a little bit and everyone's just kind of hitting each other on the head and then going back to just heal up a little bit. This is the second game from Blank where he's been relatively, so far, around, but not performing up to the level that we expect. Normally a very steady, consistent player. So far, hasn't been showing that, and he doesn't know that a ward's just been placed in that top brush. This might be awkward for Blank.
Yeah, but Blank is going to come in here, is going towards Cog once again. Can the Ornn get the outplay? Absolutely not, and it's another kill in this top lane. Nidalee thriving.
I do want to kind of admit, maybe Upperman's kill was stolen there. Like, come on. Like, he did a really good juggle on that turret with Blank there. Like, Upperman things, guys. Can we at least appreciate the Upperman things?
Yeah, no, that was very well done. It was a perfect dive. Nidalee, of course, loves the top lane, and it's for a reason, right? It's because the top laners set her up just so well.
Now,
and
I want to ask you every day. I want to ask you, if I may.
Dangerous. Very dangerous to ask me things. Go ahead.
Pink has been doing exactly as you said he should. He should push his lane and wander off somewhere else. We haven't seen that yet. When will I start seeing that?
Well, it should have already been happening, honestly. He's been locked in lane fairly well. The Silas has fast enough wave clear that he's actually trying to punish. And
he did get a kill, obviously.
He did. Well, he got an assist.
True, yeah.
In that was the counter gang, but that's fine. You don't necessarily want your Nunu getting the kills.
True.
But he is going to bring the snowball once more. They could get onto Pyrian here as he has to volley bear ult away.
I don't think he had to. Uh-oh.
Hachimecha's up here. This crocodile's in a lot of trouble. He goes forward and it's an absolute zoo in the top lane. But the Jesters are the kings of the zoo.
Yeah, and what's brilliant here is Rascal Jesters, all 5 members completely rotated around, aware that they wanted to go and get this Rift Herald, and Sengoku just weren't prepared. They didn't have their timers up. They've lost that first dragon. They're losing the first Rift Herald. Maybe Sengoku haven't adapted. Maybe this break was actually negative for them, because so far, it doesn't matter who you are, Rascal Jesters or Axis, you've got a place in the standing so far. You're playing pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And this is once again Sengoku just kind of losing it to objectives. They're still winning in farm in enough places. As Pink does get onto Pyrian here, doing a lot of damage. Hachimecha flying in as well. The Ignite was down, but he's just a bit too quick.
And that is part of the problem. This is a Silas. He is pretty good at sustaining through long fights, and he won't go down quickly, but there is going to be a dragon up in 130. They definitely need to prevent any dragon snowballing, especially if it is going to be a 50-50 on that Air Drake or Cloud Drake. Oh, God.
Oh, Tempered Fate doesn't hit. He tries to get the snowball up, but he's in a lot of trouble. They're just going to add insult to injury with an arrow. Why are they trying to turn this around, Hachimecha? You were out! What was that decision? Why'd you jump back in?
I thought you could tell me because you're the play-by-play. You just yell it, and I thought his decision.
I mean,
or is that a color thing?
I think I've got a theory. My stream lagged right as it did. I actually think it's because his brain lagged at the same time.
Ah, right.
Because that was a terrible decision to jump back in. Just let your Nunu die.
Yeah, I'd agree. Maybe they want to give Sengoku a bit of security that they are still like really, really good, and it's okay. We got you guys. Here's a kill on our jungler who has been everywhere and gotten lots of kills. But so far, in credit to Blank, I was criticizing them earlier when they were 0-1-1. 1-1-3 now. 100% kill participation, and this is far more like Blank we expect to see. Roamed around, helped everywhere so far. Sengoku are looking a little bit more in form. More what we expect from them.
Yeah, for sure. They've done very well in this early game. Up in the top lane, it is going to be a 1v1 upper mid taking on Cog, but the Call of the Forge God will disengage the fight.
Now, it looks like Rascal Jester probably... Oh, wait, no. Blank's here. Going to be contested. 100%. Especially if Pyrian...
Blank is here. There's a Tempered Fate as well. Pyrian has arrived. Nagi trying to zone as much as can. Hachimecha just trying to burst the dragon down. Who's going to get it? And of course it'll be Blank. He takes it away. They get all the kills as well. There is that Tempered Fate. And the Jesters are absolutely collapsing. They are getting clobbered here. And Nunu does a big bit of damage. But he can't sap all the cold away.
Well, we had a hope. And it's not paying off. This Nunu, I love the idea. So watch this. So currently they're doing this with very little vision in Sengoku's jungle. I don't know why they're pushing so aggressively when they don't need to be doing this. They don't have Pink to be verifying for the double smite. They get one member's already chunked down. Nagi's already gone. And then Blank somehow steals it when it's an even smite fight. He doesn't level up until after getting that dragon. So the experience there was useful. R gets over and just gets destroyed by Yutori Muashi. As well as at the same time, Hachimecha finally falls. And Pink just is the last man alive. Trying for that ult, but not gonna work. Well, looks like Pyrian's back to the way we expect things. Yutori, basically everyone. It's only Appamen who's got to do with Appamen things on his own in that top lane, really, for the last 5 minutes. And, well, the rest of Sengoku are performing as, well, it's business as usual. 1k gold lead also just in that top lane. 4 turret plates is just a small little thing, I guess. I don't know, you know? What do you think?
Yeah, just a couple.
It's just a couple.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, like... We can talk about the composition all we want. The AP Nunu, obviously super interesting. I don't think it's been executed very well.
First pro play Nunu this year.
It is. It is the first one. It's been a solo queue thing so far.
Look at us. We gave you a present every day.
You did. You've given me so many presents today. Can I just join you guys? I'll just betray the BCS. I don't need them. Blank steals away the red buff. But as I was saying, hang on, we might have a fight. As an arrow is going to come in onto the back line, lands onto Art. There's the stolen Nunu ult, and once again, Pyrian is just tearing them to bits. The revolution has come, the Winter Palace has fallen, and the Jesters are looking like the Tsar right now, as they are getting absolutely mown down.
That's an ace. That was an ace.
That is an ace at 13 minutes.
Yeah, none of the members of Sengoku died, and
Yep, that's why they like Bizarre. None of the members of his family survived.
yeah, and this is why our expectations for the Axis game were far more heavy. Sengoku, once they get a slight lead into you, that 1k gold lead. Do you remember when even I was like, well, Rascal Jesters look pretty solid. Doesn't matter. This Ash ult was beautiful, and then watch this ult from that stolen. Oh, it's beautiful, especially with all that AP scaling that Silas does build on Pyrion. Cold just gets destroyed. It's just 2 men versus 1. He can't do anything. Pink, run! My God, run, man! And then Hachimecha, for some reason, runs back into them. He's done that twice now.
Yep.
That was awkward. Tempered Fate did stop the Nunu, so that is worth noting. Thank you, production. I did miss that. But it doesn't matter. Silas is currently 7-0-5.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a super good performance here out of DR1, and he's really leading Garm to this early game lead that we always know. Sorry.
LJL.
I'm in the wrong league. Oh, no. It's the LJL. But, I mean, this is reminiscent of that Garm esports in the BCS. There is another bit of a fight. Nagi is in some trouble. I barely need to play-by-play this, as he is just absolutely gone. There's 4 of them in the bot lane. They're going to push onto this tower. This game's kind of already in the books.
Well, he just ate it. He just was out of position, ate it, and there's not much more you can say there. Sengoku are now just rotating around the map, and they're like, all right, what do we want next? Well, we should probably take mid, so we have mid prio. Okay, Dragon's coming up soon. Herald's currently up. We can probably get Herald if we do it as a 3, maybe a 2. We've got blank on Italy,
1.
so it'll be fine. We can also set up for this this Dragon. We can get our vision set up. It's an Air Drake, a Cloud Rift again. Kind of sucks. Really would have liked it, because that's why we contested the Drake earlier. So if it's an Infernal Rift, we're doing great. But, I mean, every day... We're almost 2k above. We're almost 10k above them. What else can we do? Oh my God! So did you know the AI bot could do that?
That is
at 15 minutes.
That is a lot.
Did you know that?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't. But it makes sense. I'm surprised it's not 99.
Well, I think the calculations have to give them always that there is always a chance. You know, there's always.
Oh yeah, I would have given them the 1% because. They are not looking very good, and after all, we know what Silas likes to do to the 1%. He is a big boy.
We just saw the observer hovering the items there, just like, what's he got? Oh, okay.
He's got a GLP and a proto belt at 16 minutes. This is smart. He's gone the early power spikes as well, like 2 ridiculously cheap items. That share a cooldown. Like, that's horrible synergy, but he just wants the stats.
Oh, I mean, take the stats, 700 gold if you happen to kill him, but that's not going to happen. Exactly. Thank you, production, as well. Dark stacks, 10 stacks. Medjai's just been brought.
And there it is.
Well, you got to feel good for Pyrion. He was like, first game jitters, guys. First game jitters, it's okay. Normally we have it against the number 1 or number 2 seed, so it's like, oh, well... They lost against DFM, they lost against CGA, V3, it's okay, but we'll beat somebody else afterwards. This is night and day difference performance on Sengoku. Sucks for Rascal Jesters that it happened to be versus them and not against Axis, but I mean
it's got to be said though that Axis actually executed their comp.
True.
Like Sengoku is definitely playing well. I'm not going to take away from them, but the Jesters are also not doing what their comp is meant to do. The Nunu didn't roam. It didn't snowball the side lane. Cog got absolutely pounded in the top lane. And, Ornn loses to Renekton, but he shouldn't be dying that much. No, they should have known that Nidalee was going to gank top. Like, you have to be responding to these things.
And that happened also partly because Pyrion aggressively identified that Pink wasn't doing the roaming, so he was free to do the roam in response. And Silas is pretty happy to roam and do those ganks, and... Well, Rift Herald's going to probably get this turret with Yutori Muashi, throw that gold over, and, well, 4-1 turrets. They're looking like they're going to get at least a bit of damage on this mid turret, unless Art can stop it. No. No,
this will easily get the charge. And, yeah, Nunu's here. Woo! At the moment, it definitely seems like it is just Nunu here, just a small, scared child running around on the Rift. I wonder where his Yeti went. I don't think Willem's turned up.
Nah, Willem thought about it, and he said, "Nah, mate, it's too early in the UK. I'm gonna go back to bed, mate." He's a koala bear, mate. That's all he is, really.
I mean, you know that a Yeti would be a northerner, right? It's probably from Yorkshire.
Oh,
He's got to go back to bed.
maybe. I mean, I mean, Midlands, Northern. I'm a southerner by trait, so I mean, I see everything above Oxford as just the north for me. Not Oxford, Australia. Oxford, England. Should make that disparity.
Obviously.
Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. First time doing with a... Oh.
In a lot of trouble, he's going to go down. Let me put it this way. I didn't know there was an Oxford in Australia, and I'm Australian.
Wait a second. Well, we both learned something today.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is not looking great for the Jesters here. Well, that said, they are sort of living up to their name because this game's been an absolute joke.
So I like this. I'm trying to understand this full thing. At 18 minutes, there was a 10k gold lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
In gold difference, this is almost around 1k a minute gold advantage in favor of Sengoku. It's about 800 gold difference each minute that Sengoku are making over Rascal Jester. What is going on? Oh, and apparently I'm being corrected. There's not an Oxford in Australia, and apparently
I was going to say, I didn't think
sounds really
there
sad
was.
about this. I thought there was a town.
Tyrion
like
looking
a
for a
small
way
village.
into this fight. Look at Nagi just taking so much damage. I thought Nautilus was meant to be tanky, but he got absolutely deleted, even through the Gargoyle Stone Plate. The Tempered Fate won't land, but it doesn't matter because Tyrion can change the fate of a game. As he gets that kill, they push onto the inhib, and it's just past 20 minutes. 12k gold lead, and the mid inhib broken.
Well, you can see the pings coming out. I mean, Rascal Jester pinged it as well. They know what's going on, but they can't stop it. They've just got to accept what's happening. This Baron's going down, and apparently there's a Australian clothing brand.
There's a suburb in Sydney called Oxford.
That's what I must be
Oxford,
thinking of.
There's an Oxford train station, but it's not like
no.
It's not a very important
Hachimecha
place, and neither is Hachimecha. So I'm surprised you know about it.
I mean, my mum did live in Australia for about 1.5 to 2 years, and I had a mate of mine that also worked in Sydney in Australia and played some random Magic the Gathering tournaments. So maybe that's where I might have got that, because maybe I also listen to a podcast which has an Australian in it, and he loves to always bring up random Australian facts. So,
if you like Australian facts, I can.
I think this is the time of the game where if you want to plug a little Australian fact or a VCS fact, you might be able to do one or two.
I mean, did you know that one of Australia's national heroes is just literally a criminal?
I mean, what a crocodile.
No, a criminal. Like it was a Ned Kelly, considered one of the most exemplary examples of an Australian. Well, literally was just a stagecoach robber.
Well, would you look at that? Pyrion's a bit our position,
he's looking to do a bit of robbery. As there's the big volley bear ult. He gets 3. He somehow survives in the middle of the entire enemy team. And good God, I think you can just surrender, guys, if you're allowed. Blank gets another one. And I think they won't even have to surrender, as they're looking to end this game at 22 minutes. Pyrion carving up the towers. He is very, very angry at himself for his performance in the last game. He's made up for it in this one. They're going to get the last couple of kills. And once again, with a 9-0 and 11 storyline, the Reds have won. Sengoku push it over the line, led by the big man Pyrion.
GG, well played, Sengoku. Far more what we expected, but we still need to gain and gather our thoughts, sir. So with that said, we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be back with Initialize over at the analyst desk.
내 게임이 남아 내 게임 남았을 때 될것 같아.
Well, ladies and gents, we are here today to mourn the death and brutal murder of Rascal Jesters. It's a very sad day, and we're sorry you had to witness that murder live on stream. We're aware that probably violated any number of terms of services, and I'm going to throw this to my casters. I'm aware you guys might well be traumatized, so if you need a moment or two to collect your thoughts, that's fine. Every day I'm going to come to you.
I don't think you should be allowed to do that.
I know. I know.
It's just not nice.
You pick these champions. You signed up for what you did.
All right. So to take it back from being a little facetious, Sengoku Gaming obliterated the Jesters. Like, it was not close. And this was more of what we wanted to see from Sengoku Gaming. What we were expecting to an extent from the early game of from the first game of the day against Axis, and credit to Sengoku for righting the ship that maybe we're starting to have some questions about. Isn't that right, Masked Swan?
Yeah. That's why I was kind of reserved a little bit. I wanted to see that the second game really to come out before I made any full point. This was night and day different. I think part of it is what Everyday already highlighted. This Volibear is a problem. The other thing is Rascal Jesters didn't perform up to the pick expectations that could have been had. And I'll leave it there.
Yes. Yeah. Your thoughts Everyday, and I think you want to add on to that before we delve a little deeper into some of what nuances we can pull from that game.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, Sengoku didn't really, you can point to the scoreline and say, wow, Sengoku was totally flexing. Not really. They didn't have to do anything special. The Jesters just kind of picked a comp, and they probably went, yeah, this looks really good on paper, but I don't even know if they've ever scrimmed that comp, because they didn't know how to play it.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay, I do want to sort of, before we start questioning a lot of the Jesters' decisions, I want to have a look at some of the early game, where Sengoku Gaming, once again, had a bit of a rough early start. That 2v2 in mid lane looked pretty bad for Sengoku Gaming in the first blood. Going over the way of Hechimechi's Volibear with the counter gank on the Nidalee seemed like a bright start, right? Isn't it Everyday?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bright start, but they had to invest so much to do it. And again, it was blank setting the pace, which isn't what the new comp is meant to have done to it. It's meant to be the pace setter and force the other team to respond. And that's what was happening. Nidalee was first to the punch.
Yeah, and part of the reason it was first to the punch was the fact that we had some very odd jungle starts. We had sort of vertical jungling, but Hachimecha didn't want to index into it because he wanted to kind of play the game his way, but that meant that he wasn't matching buffs, and we kind of saw that all culminate in the weird play in mid lane, which got a bit odd. I then want to go on and say, okay, so the jungle paths were a bit weird, the mid 2v2 was a bit weird, Blank's recovery with the dive in top, pairing up to eviscerate the Ornn in the top side with the Silas teleport. Mass1, that's probably the first player I want us to really index into, because I think that's the beginning of the Snowball versus the Snowball comp.
Yeah, that was just Blank again coming up, Pyrion identifying with the three of them. They were like, we can guarantee get the kill if we can transfer it to Pyrion. Pyrion can carry this game. Appamen, we know, can reliably play weak side or strong side. Whatever happens to him, it'll be fine. He's in a favored matchup. He was continuously pushing Cog in that top lane. It's what happened. It's like you said. It was the Snowball comp got snowballed on. Appamen was able to keep that lead in the top lane going from that gank that happened to him. He got 4 turret plates before anything else happened. He got so much gold and had basically a 1k gold lead on top of Cog. Outside of the fact that Pyrion was the one that got the kill, and it set up Blank for starting to pull an advantage in this game in the jungle.
Any thoughts yourself every day?
I mean, I just have to agree. Like, this was all 5 members of Sengoku performing super well. I guess the bot lane didn't do much. I mean, they didn't have to. It wasn't a negative mark against them. They just weren't super involved. Even then, you still saw some very good long-range arrows out of the Ashe. Assisting plays. Bard was hitting ults to stop the Nunu snowball. Like, it's even hard to just find any shining light for the Jesters in this one. Like, honestly, where's the silver lining?
And it was hard to watch. I kind of agree with you. And I do want to tear into the Jesters a little bit, because I know you were very disparaging about how the Nunu was played. Let's dive into that a little bit, I think. It's all well and good saying, like, Sengoku played well, but we kind of said there's not actually all that much to pull from it. There's probably a little bit more to pull just in terms of alarm bells across the board for the Jesters in terms of how poorly that Nunu was played. What should the Nunu have been doing, and why was it stuck in lane every day?
I mean, it wasn't stuck. I know that sounds weird, because visibly it never left, but it wasn't stuck. He could have called Hachimecha to say, shadow me as I clear the wave, and then we both walk to a side lane. That's what you do. You just get the jungler to shadow, and if Pyrion tries to kill you while you clear the wave, you bring your jungler in. Easy, you kill the mid laner. But you just shadow, and then you roam. But he never did that. He never called the jungler to shadow. He never actually committed to fully clearing the wave. And then he was locked in lane because he didn't want to leave.
All right.
He was a prisoner with the door open.
That's a brutal phrasing, but I have to agree. And it's another one of those marks where you said Pink probably isn't ready for the professional stage. He was a substitute coming out of solo queue. Yeah. It's showing again here. Like, he's a different player, and I think that isn't Katarina, and that player is not really up to LJL standard, unfortunately, especially against someone like Pyrion. Lexi, let's have a look a little bit at Sengoku. I mean, throw a bit of praise, actually, rather than just take this as a negative approach in the post-desk. We'll do this really swiftly. Pyrion and Blank had a great game. What are you expecting for them moving forward in the Super?
Same as more. Honestly, I'm just expecting them to be back on form. They had that first game jitters. That I'm always more willing out of the main 3 cast of myself, Initialize, and Nymera to always give the benefit of the doubt for a team before fully slamming in. I'll slam in harder than the others, but I will also give them the benefit of the doubt for that first loss. I'm expecting Sengoku to be a return to form. That first game is just something we won't happen again. Pyrion ended. Didn't die, 25 Magi stacks, can't say more. Blank, also 20 Magi stacks, only died once, very early in that game,
games.
Probably didn't die.
Yes. Alright, so that's a pretty good look at it, and you heard the stats there on the Magi's. Every day as well, I want to thank you for coming onto the cast. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Casting some pretty ridiculous games of League of Legends, all things said and done. That was not a standard look at the game, so welcome, and it's nice to have you in for that ridiculousness. Floor is yours if you want to offer any last thoughts, throw a few plugs, give the viewers what they want, man.
Obviously, thank you for having me very much. I had a lot of fun. It's always good to change up what region you're watching, even though maybe those games made me think of home. So we're a little bit VCS-like. I really enjoyed the cast. I think it was very, very fun. If you do enjoy my casting, you can find me more regularly over at VCS English. We do the same thing that these guys do for the Vietnamese region. We have a very big week, and I think just as these guys start to head off tonight, we'll be heading on. So do feel free to come check us out. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know what your weekend needs, ladies and gents? More League of Legends. Go LJL into VCS, into LEC, into LCS, and you won't regret a thing. Thank you again every day. Go and... that one, possibly. Go follow Everyday at Everyday's Casts on Twitter. And maybe we'll see you again at some point soon. But for now, a bit of Everyday adieu. We'll go on a swift break. And when we return, we have got Rascal Jester looking to bounce back against Burning Core in our third match of the day.